Zoe, a shy physics student, attends a lecture on the quantum Zeno effect theory. Her professor challenges her to take a risk over the Thanksgiving break. Ben is a stock boy at a grocery store who is frustrated by his employer's refusal to promote him to a better role and better pay. Jason is a young stockbroker who is well-liked for his fast-paced, go-getter mentality. Zoe, Ben, and Jason each receive a puzzle box from a trusted acquaintance. After completing the puzzle, a clue leads them to the Minos escape room, where they can win $10,000 if they successfully escape. Amanda, a war veteran, Mike, a former miner, and Danny, an escape room enthusiast, arrive and join Zoe, Ben, and Jason in what seems to be a waiting area. When Ben attempts to leave the room, the door handle snaps, locking them inside and revealing an oven temperature gauge. Mike discovers a copy of Fahrenheit 451, so Zoe raises the thermostat to 451 degrees Fahrenheit. The heat panels gradually turn on, heating the space to dangerously high levels. As things get worse, Zoe sees Amanda is in distress and tries to calm her down with water from the water cooler. Zoe notices a sign asking for coasters to be used for drinks, and an escape vent to the next room opens when they simultaneously push down on 6 coasters. Jason enters the vent first, followed by Mike and Amanda, while Zoe realizes filling a glass with water will hold down a coaster long enough to escape the room. They rush to cover all coasters with glasses until not enough water remains, since Amanda drank a glass earlier. Ben pours his flask into the last glass, and the two escape just before the room engulfs in fire. In a mountain cabin, the group are concerned at how real the game is becoming. They're ignored when they ask for help through the cameras. The clue to unlock the cabin door is a 7-lettered name connected to "You'll Go Down in History." Ben gives Rudolph as the code, which is the correct answer. They enter frigid temperatures on a frozen stream, and the cabin doors and windows suddenly lock shut. While exploring their surroundings, they discover a door that requires a key, compass, fishing rod, magnet, and an ice fishing hole. They find a key from the fishing hole encased in a big ice cube. Danny tries to get Ben's lighter in order to melt the ice cube, but he falls into the ice waters and drowns. The group is devastated by Danny's death and worried by how calculated the accident was. Jason convinces the group to huddle and use their body heat to melt the ice. They eventually retrieve the key. Jason manages to unlock the door, but it does not open. The group runs across the stream through a new door that opens just as the remaining ice under them crashes. The third room is an upside-down bar with pool tables. As they enter, they feel the entire room elevate. They see a door without a doorknob. Mike believes the missing 8-ball from the pool table is the doorknob, which is hidden somewhere in the pub. A telephone cable falls from the ceiling. Music begins to play, followed by an ear-piercing dial-up sound. A section of the floor falls each time the sequence is repeated. Amanda climbs the wall behind the bar and discovers a 4-digit code safe. The group finds the required numbers in a sliding tile puzzle solved by Zoe, but they are unable to open the safe. Zoe briefly passes out and has a flashback to an airplane crash where she was the lone survivor and left upside down, while everyone else was fastened to their seat. Zoe tells Amanda to enter the numbers inverted and reversed, like the room. The entire floor collapses, and Mike, Ben, Jason, and Zoe gather near the exit. Amanda successfully unlocks the 8-ball, but she is unable to safely cross to join the group. Amanda sacrifices herself to toss the 8-ball to Jason, and she falls to her death. The group enters a hospital ward with beds identical to those in which each of the game's players were treated after being declared sole survivors. Zoe survived a plane crash. Mike was the only miner who survived a cave-in. Ben's friends were all killed when he drove drunk, and Jason was the only one found by the Coast Guard after their boat overturned in frigid waters. They learn that Danny's whole family was killed by carbon monoxide poisoning, and Amanda was the only soldier in her unit to survive an IED detonation in Iraq. The remaining survivors realize deliberate planning led to them all arriving and playing the game to see who would be the luckiest out of the lucky, and aspects of the game have been based on their lives. A TV broadcast states the group has 5 minutes to live unless they put their heart into it. When time is up, the room will be filled with poison gas. They find an EKG machine in order to determine the appropriate heart rate that will take them to the next room. Zoe tries to outsmart the game makers and destroys all the cameras in the room with the hope of finding a way out. Jason accidentally kills Mike by shocking him numerous times with a defibrillator, believing that a rapid heart rate will save the group. When hazardous gas begins to leak into the room, Jason connects himself to the EKG and allows the poison to drop his heart rate to less than 50 beats per minute. The door to the next room opens. Zoe refuses to follow them and appears to fall and die. Jason and Ben enter the 5th room, which is full of optical illusions. Angered by Jason's cruel killing of Mike and refusal to help Zoe, Ben believes Jason was not a sole survivor by choice. Based on his actions in the game, Ben guilts Jason into admitting he intentionally killed his roommate to have the red parka for himself. A hallucinogenic chemical contaminates Jason and Ben as they unlock a hatch leading to the next floor. Ben finds the antidote shot meant for just one person, and the two fight to death over it. Jason breaks Ben's leg, but Ben kicks him into a table corner, killing him. Ben escapes into the final room. He tries to escape a collapsing room by solving a puzzle. Ben is running out of time, but he manages to contain the flames in the fireplace and use it as a crawl space to avoid being crushed. He emerges in the final space and is greeted by the game master, who designs the escape rooms and explains the purpose of the game. Ben hopes he may now leave, now that he wins the game, but the game master tries to kill Ben to prevent the game's secrets from being revealed. Zoe saves Ben and they both kill the game master and escape. Zoe survives by taking an oxygen mask from the hospital bed and slipping its tubing through one of the openings left by the destroyed cameras. She pretends she's dead when 2 cleaners enter room 4 to remove evidence. Zoe knocks them out and runs. Ben and Zoe are treated for their injuries, but by the time Zoe comes with detectives, all evidence at the escape room site has been erased. 6 months later, Zoe tries to convince Ben to join her on a flight to the Minos escape room headquarters in New York, based on the geographic coordinates she determined from their logo. Little did they know that Minos is already one step ahead of them and planning to trap Zoe and Ben into another game by turning their flight into a simulated escape with a 4% chance at survival.